You are listening to Maximum Pew Pew, an actual play RPG podcast. Maximum Pew Pew follows continuous storylines and are meant to be enjoyed from the beginning. This episode is part of a special selection of bonus Extra Life materials and may contain spoilers for any associated works. In this episode of the Cawdor Complex, the party begins their trek toward the Cawdor Complex.
Hello everyone out there, my name is Jeff, I'm team captain of West Virginia Fox, an Extra Life team raising money for Cincinnati Children's Hospital. We have our big gaming marathon scheduled for May 4th and 5th, 2019, 24 hours, downtown Charleston, West Virginia, and we're going to be playing a lot of games, and we're going to be live streaming a whole bunch of those games, a lot of one-shots including D&D and Fate, and Starfinder and Tales from the Flood and a little Numenera. And today we're going to stream for you a little tech check that we're doing to make sure that we can, at least put something together that will go out over the internet that you can see. And I promise you that we're probably a lot better at playing the games than we are at running the tech. Either way, maybe. Today, yeah, we hope to. We hope to be better at playing the games than running the tech. But either way, today we're playing Predation, which is a cipher system world that came out from a Kickstarter from Monte Cook Games a few years ago. Predation is a game of the future past involving dinosaurs, time travel, and laser beams. So here we go. Let's get started. Predation is set in Earth in the Cretaceous period. What has happened is Space and Time Interglobal, a large science corporation, figured out time travel. And when they figured out time travel, one of the first things they did was go back to the time of the dinosaurs, bring a bunch of researchers, scientists, folks like that back with them. They were bringing supplies in to the past from the future, and everything was going pretty good. I guess they were accomplishing whatever their mysterious goals were until one day the portal that allowed them to travel from the future to the past collapsed, stranding everyone on Earth. Uh-oh. So, there are dinosaurs. There are laser beams. There's future tech. There's lush jungles, and there is everything from the Cretaceous period of this Earth and a lot of stuff from the future of this Earth brought back there. The setting, the players are playing characters from the setting that are about 2 generations removed from the time gate collapsing. So it would have been your grandparents who came here from the future, and you probably never have actually seen the future. The future exists to you sort of like what, old, like the Revolutionary War would be to us, right? Probably you hear stories about what it's like in the future, and you hear your grandparents and maybe even your parents talk fondly of it, but you've never seen it. The other thing that's important about this setting is that over these 2 or 3 generations, the human beings have bred and adapted dinosaurs and other now extinct species to be friendly and be your friends and companions. As a matter of fact, the characters that the players are playing will all have I want to say dinosaurs, but not everybody has a dinosaur. Some folks have small mammals or giant ducks, I suppose, and
duck-like dinosaurs,
right? Or dinosaur-like ducks. I mean, you put your peanut butter in the chocolate, and the chocolate in the peanut butter. In any event, everybody's going to have a companion. One last thing. Everybody knows that the dinosaurs get wiped out by a meteor sometime in this period. So everybody who is there in the future past knows that this meteor is on its way. And that's sort of an overarching theme of this setting, is that it's the future past and it's pre-apocalyptic. So, which is a very interesting and fun setting to play around in. Let's start out by meeting the characters. starting what we have on the screen here at the top left, which is Mar. Could you introduce Mar for us, please?
Absolutely. My name is Mar. I am a creative Osteon who crafts unique objects. My companion is Houdini, a flashy raptor. Mar's pretty skilled and has sort of a magical touch to them. However, they are very unpleasant in social interaction, so I look forward to being rude, I guess.
Okay, and so as each of the players introduce their character, what I'm going to do is all the characters work for SATI, Space and Time Interglobal, which is the organization that's responsible for the travel to Dino Times. In the current setting, they are focused on reestablishing a link with the original timeline, and they've all got this. It's got this corporate but sort of military underlying vibe to them. I imagine that a lot of the executives are maybe in uniform type of vibe to them. So you all work for SATI, and
is it Ace that goes to like Pandora? Is that the?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting kind of a Avatar vibe out of this.
Yeah, it's a little Avatar-ish, sure.
Yeah.
There's definitely a strict regime and unknown motives for why everyone's here, and also sort of a big screw-up, which stranded everyone here. And so everybody works for SATI, Space and Time Interglobal, and whenever you introduce your character, I'm going to give you what your kind of job description or MO is within the organization. Mar is the leading SATI expert on the coming asteroid that is coming to wipe everyone out.
Nice.
In fact, Mar is known to dream of the coming asteroid, and they may have portents and knowledge of the things that are yet to come. And maybe they can't put it all together.
So that's why the pleasant social interaction. We're going to die anyway. I mean, what does any of this matter?
And so that is Mar, and Mar's companion, like you said, is Houdini, a flashy raptor. Gibson.
My name is Gibson. I am a savage Karn who predates or predates, whichever you prefer, possibly both. Basically, I am a big dumb oaf who is very strong. And as my companion, his name is Toby, and Toby is a clumsy, I'm going to be clumsy with my words, Ankylosaurus, so the armored dinosaur who also has a hammer tail.
Super clumsy.
And is none too delicate with
No, he is the proverbial bull in a china shop.
Good. This is
Useful.
I also do not do well in social interaction, so we'll get along fine.
Okay, I am looking for Gibson. Gibson hasn't been a part of Space and Time Interglobal all that long. He's not gotten bored with it yet, so at least that's something. But he's kind of a new recruit and probably been hired to bring a little bit of security to various matters. The bottom left in the Twitch screen is Halen, as in Van Halen. Halen.
Halen is here. I'm a mechanical tech, and basically I fix things. Basically walk around with a lab coat. Not a lot of power here. I carry a hunting knife. However, a lot of tools, machines. I can craft things. I have dino senses, which is always good to have. And I can also do something. I can change the appearance of non-human creatures. So, got that going for me.
that may come in handy.
That Tyrannosaurus is suddenly a lot less scary looking. Thank you. Nice spleen.
But it's still a Tyrannosaurus.
So,
Yeah, around here, just basically, you're a fix-it guy, a guy that makes machine and tech, has that sort of skill set. I have a companion whose name is Anzu, whose name is Clever, and it's like a bird-like duck thing that has feathers, dinosaurish.
Yeah, it's
Little
like
combo. It's like evolving before
Oh,
us.
just like an axe beak kind of thing.
it's kind of like it's a dinosaur duck. I mean, it's a duck-billed, feathery dinosaur, so sort of like an axe beak. Yeah,
New on
without the
Disney,
axe beak, it's
dinosaur duck.
kind of got a
New band name.
yeah. Played bass for Dinosaur Duck.
I also have a history skill,
Yeah,
so I
it's a
know
shame
about
they
the
didn't
past
make it out of the '90s college scene.
or the future. Think about that.
Don't think about it too hard.
I think you have knowledge of the present.
Wow.
Fantastic. Halen is a member of SATI because Halen loves the science and technology that SATI provides to him and allows him to tinker with. He could care less about the end goals or really, the directives. Is if you give me the uniform, I will do what you say, but I want to play with all the toys, is sort of his
Oh, you
motivation.
live for that 10% time that Google gives you to work on your own projects.
Exactly.
And that leaves Sadiki.
Yeah, Sadiki, pretty much, she looks like Shuri from Black Panther, the movie. She is kind of short, thin, wiry, really smart, and doesn't mind showing it. And her outfit is generally kind of tribal with tech bits kind of woven into it. And currently underneath all that, she's wearing a T-shirt that says, "Your end is nigh." Her companion is Freya, which is a cute little alphadon. It's this little... basically imagine you turned put a possum on a weight loss plan and made it cute like a Pokemon, and that's an alphadon.
Australian possum.
Yeah, and it just kind of like sits there, looks around at all the dinosaurs, and does little motion connecting eyes and says, "I know who's surviving the rock."
yeah, fantastic. What kind of skills is...
Shuri's a daring Terex who plays God. She likes dinosaurs. She likes discovering dinosaurs. She likes... she likes doing anything she hasn't done before. She's all about new experiences, finding new things, and that sort of thing. She kind of has a little bit of that Crocodile Dundee empathy with the animals.
Fantastic. Well, the notes that I have, I'm going to do something here, because the notes that I have here is that Sadiki wants desperately to fix the time stream. But what you just said doesn't make me believe that Sadiki wants to fix the time stream anymore.
Oh, sure he does.
What I was going to say is I was going to make it more neutral, and Sadiki is the expert on manipulating time in our group. So she can... she knows about the tech that would be doing things with the time stream, and maybe even the bits of science magic that exists in a lot of these cipher system settings that has to do with time and time anomalies. She's going to be the expert on that. I will leave it up to the player to decide whether she is actively trying to help Sadie fix the time stream, or maybe from the inside is maybe trying to stop their efforts.
The
from
slee
doing
stack with the rocks. Changing weather.
Maybe we'll
It'll
call
work,
him
but at
A,
the
we'll
last
call him
minute.
B.
It's going to get like uncomfortably close to asteroid time. She's like, oh yeah, we can do it.
How long have you been sitting on that?
I wasn't done here.
I have this really great trick, but I can only do it once. So I didn't want to waste it.
And it might not work for all of you.
It's like that potion they give you when you first make your character in a video game that you save just in case you need it in the boss fight.
And then you beat the game and wondering why it's still in your inventory.
Right.
Like 483 mega ethers because you don't
Right.
use those.
You're supposed to use that. Oh, I can't find this.
It reminds me of like all the wheels of cheese you carry around.
Yeah.
Just taking up spots in your bag.
I need that for alchemy. What if I need to make a potion?
Just eat the cheese.
Yeah.
No, need it for potions.
So, as we begin our adventure together, everyone is at a makeshift SATI camp in the jungle. and sort of on this little box that's sitting between all of you and your companions as you're sitting around what is essentially a campsite. Up pops Arslan Salia. She is a no-nonsense SATI executive with the highest military clearances. Arslan Salia is also the individual from whom you receive your orders and missions. And she is kind of pale-faced and gaunt-looking and always serious. And she looks and she says, "Hello, team. We are sending a cyber drone your way to make a document drop that will give you more details. But here is what you need to know. There's a complex at the base of a nearby volcano called the Cawdor Complex. Now, it used to be a research and development outpost, and as a matter of fact, SATI abandoned it 20 years ago because the projects that were taking place there were no longer worth the cost of running so close to a volcano. Well, it turns out a scientist named Rados has set up shop there. So, what you need to know about Rados is that he could be dangerous. He is interested in time anomalies and believes that he can fix the time stream. All of the evidence that we have about Rados kind of indicates that that is not the case, and that instead he is highly delusional and maybe mad with the power of running his own research camp. The document drop that we're sending you will have a map that will get you to the Cawdor Complex. It will also furnish you with falsified identifications. There are essentially two ways that we would suggest you go about this. The way that you handle it is up to you. First, you could create a cover story saying that SATI is interested in Rados' research and would even be interested in funding further research by Rados, and that you're there to check out the facilities and to see if it's something that SATI would be interested in. So basically, getting in through
diplomatic means
and bluff and bribery. On the other hand, you could sneak in find a way to get in past whatever guards and defenses that Rados has set up and get to the inner lab. What we need from you is the technology that Rados is currently completing. While we don't believe that Rados can do what he says he can do and fix the time stream, what we believe can happen is that we can use whatever research that he has to make something that will be actually effective. Do you have any questions for me before we end this transmission?
Was he a former employee of the company, or is he currently just out there? What do we know about him?
Rados was educated in the academy back in the home settlement that is set up by SATI. But once he left the academy, he started working on his own projects and has not officially worked in SATI in any official capacity.
Well, I mean, sounds like it takes a lot of effort and a lot of funding resources to do good research. Where would he get all that, or this was just laying around when you shut down the volcano facility? Great idea, that, by the way.
It has saved us a lot of money. Thank you. It wasn't my idea, but I will take your gratitude for it.
I meant the whole building a lab under a volcano. That's an amazing idea in the first place. A lot of forethought going on there.
Yes. No, I can assure you that we left no important technological pieces behind whenever we cleared it out. We must save everything that we can. Rados has undoubtedly allied himself with some powerful or wealthy individual or individuals that are supplying him with at least the amount of technology or some salvage yard or scrap heap that he can kind of bring together enough parts to make whatever technology that he's doing.
Well, there can't be too many malevolent philanthropists in this area. Like, do you have any leads? How many millionaires did we put through the portal?
Or was there more than one portal?
Let's stepping back and out of character. Who are the ones that are getting to fly in space first?
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't.
that ship full of artists, right?
Yeah.
The ship full of hairdressers and
Yeah,
and
all
tellers.
all of the mechanics and yeah.
Wait a second.
Well, if there will be nothing else, I will leave it to you. And just about that time, you see the cyber drone kind of fly over and drop a small box, and the box on the screen, your Arslan Salia, your supervisor, kind of puffs out.
I don't know if I can.
How far away from this volcano? Is there days march or?
No, so you open up the document drop and you see a map, and it looks like it'll take you maybe the better part of a few hours to kind of get through the jungle to get to where this is, and perhaps this is why you've been assigned the quest, is because you're kind of in the vicinity and you're a team made up of individuals who can do it, and you're pretty close to it, so you got the assignment.
Now, this was previously a SATI installation, so did we do?
Is there a back door in?
Well, did the information we received have, blueprints? Like, presumably we could get a map, because they are literally the ones that designed it.
So what you have is, yes, you have a map of the Cawdor Complex. It appears to be a bunch of buildings that are sitting at the base of an active volcano. It lies beneath jungle trees and sort of envelops itself and kind of camouflages itself with the surrounding atmosphere that you see in the map. And so yeah, generally speaking, you have a map and a layout of what that building looks like.
Yeah, but any modifications that have been made since we evacuated are not going to be. Okay, I follow.
We have a map, it's just outdated. Right?
There's always a sewer. There's always a back way in.
Yeah, your GPS will take you like down the mountain road as opposed to the...
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been through an active volcano cave, volcanic lava tube. So that should be exciting.
We'll add that to the list of things.
Right. Things to do right before I die.
Yeah, retroactive bucket list editions. Like, ooh, that was dangerous.
That wasn't on the list, but it is now.
Yeah.
That'll protect me.
I'm going to put that on the list and check it off, and it'll look impressive.
Does anybody have any lava gear?
I could probably make some.
No.
I have handcrafted. I have scale armor.
Yep. I just had the feathers redone on my outfit.
I can make lava gear for the dinosaurs.
So how exactly does that work? Is that like I don't know? It's like big thick metal plates you hang off of them, or like big aluminum foil reflective suits, or
slather them down with a thick, just like Vaseline like coating.
Snorkel?
It may if they've got the gills. I'm just saying. But you take this cooling gel that absorbs the heat very well and dissipates it, and you just lay it on real thick on the dinosaur. You don't want metal that conducts heat. That's stupid.
Sorry.
That's a terrible idea.
Fake dinosaur.
What I'll tell you is that
worked in Breath of the Wild.
It's like the big beekeeper suit you take to Death Mountain.
Probably what Mar and Halen would know.
Or just eat some butterflies.
From their study of geology in this time period is that although volcanoes are active, a lot of times the lava tubes that exist in the upper cone aren't actually filled with lava. They are just created whenever the pressures cause an eruption, and then lava will seep out into
vents and recedes, and then you've just got a naturally created cavern.
Is there going to be some green gas?
Tunnel and cavern.
Lots of green gas.
Yeah. Don't all of these dungeon crawls have green gas?
All of them have. Breathing ash.
We'll find out when we go to take a 10-minute rest.
You're still resting. All right.
The 9-minute and 54-second mark. Go ahead and make me a...
Well, team, we can do this two ways. Do we want to try diplomacy, or do we want to sneak in? And then we'll plan a route to the volcano based on that.
If this Rados figure has issues with Sadie, then what makes them think that they're going to believe any type of story where, would you like some funding? That sounds...
Well, no, but his he sounds like the sort that a little bit of ego stroking would go a long way. Like, oh yes, they finally recognized your genius. They didn't believe you in the academy, but now they do.
And that's sort of right on. And it's not that he had issues with Sadie, so to speak. It's just that he didn't want to work for them after they educated him. He just wanted to go do, maybe, like you say, they didn't recognize his genius. I'm going to go do it myself. And
I'm going to show them.
Yeah,
and they'll find out. I'll show them.
Kind of like Apple.
But they get a load of my OS.
Oh yeah, I like a phone with one button.
It's brilliant.
They're crazy. Phones. What? There's no future in phones. Nothing like a good dial-up.
Well, if we're going to do diplomacy, I'm going to stand in the back.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would.
I'm a mechanic. You're the magician over there. I think you might be the most diplomatic.
No, I'm the magician, and I'm certainly not the most diplomatic.
Oh, look. I can talk, I guess. I can talk to him.
I could take a review of his tech and talk about how good or bad it is, possibly.
I can tell him how
You
stupid
just
he
nerd
is.
at each other. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Just
try the direct approach.
Just when you find out that it really doesn't work,
Run.
Just look at me and it would give me this panicked look, and I'll start lying for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do enhanced negotiation.
All right, let's head over. Let's start heading over.
Negotiation.
I will mention that all of these so-called social things that my character apparently have only work on dinosaurs, for reference.
Oh,
so none of us can actually do this diplomatic approach.
No.
In other words,
My Alphadon, Freya. Freya is very sociable.
yeah, Freya no English.
So
she doesn't have to.
Let's talk a little bit
more
about
of a hacker.
Let's talk a little bit about the mechanics of the cipher system.
Right.
And so, aside from Mr. I'm terrible at social interactions, so I think two of our characters have.
Yeah.
Which would actually increase the difficulty of any task by a step. A lot of the cipher system is taking a difficulty number and then reducing that by steps with assets and other things that you have available to you, including spending what they call effort and other things that we'll get into as we need them that are technical.
Right.
The point of my little speech was that just because you're not set up to be a diplomat doesn't mean you can't pass social interactions in this game.
Gotcha.
It just means that you have to spend a little bit more of your resources and think of clever ways sort of to get that job done.
Okay. So
Again,
how
the
I'm
end of a sword.
interpreting that is perhaps if Sadie sent like some very discerning individuals to like really, like assess these inventions or research he has and try to really undersell it. Perhaps that would lend some authenticity to the inspection.
This trip is worth our time, but just by this much.
Yeah.
Right? We're out of here as soon as we can find a reason to be out of here.
Here. We're the review board. We're here to determine if you get funding or not, and we really don't want to be here. Make it good.
Yeah, so I think we could probably pull that
That
off.
Black Lotus card, really? Come on. What are they worth? Not a lot. Just a piece of paper.
It's probably forged anyways. I mean, laser printers are better than the print they had back then.
That's right.
So navigating through. So let's do our first little bit here. Navigating through the jungle is typically a level 5 difficulty. And in the Cypher system, you multiply your level times 3, and that's what you need on the dice. So you roll d20, and you need to get a 15 or better in order to navigate through the jungle. But wait, you have a map. And that reduces the difficulty of navigating through the jungle by 3 steps, making it a difficulty 2 task. Now, this is the part where you guys get to spend resources or tell me reasons why it should be easier than that, and we can reduce that by additional steps. You can always spend effort. This would be an intelligence-based task. You would spend 3 points out of your intellect pool in order to reduce it by 1 if you wanted to expend effort. Also, other assets that you might have on your abilities or other things that you might be trained or specialized in will also reduce it by a step.
Okay.
If I'm trained in pathfinding.
Well, then maybe you ought to be the one rolling the check, because that will automatically reduce it down to a level 1 task.
Okay, so the trained reduces it by how much? Or
By 1 step, and
by
then
1 step.
specialized would do it by 2 steps.
Okay, so a level 1 means we need a 3.
A 3 or better, and if you can reduce it 1 more, then you don't even have to roll.
Right, okay.
I could potentially reduce that as well. I have
Hold on. No, never mind.
Okay. I have a ability called Understanding. I observe or study a creature or object, such as a map. The next time I interact with it, the difficulty of the related task is reduced by 1 step. So I could, by studying this map and just getting a more mental, idea of it, perhaps I could also help with that.
Well, how does assisting work?
Well, let's do it this way. And we can play this out however we want to in the fiction as the two eggheads fight over who should control the map. But you get 2 shots at it, right? You both. It's a difficulty 1 task for either of you. You roll, and either you agree or you get into a fight about which way to go.
You can beat a 3. Oh, maybe not.
Or not. God.
As I roll a 1, you may want to take it back from me as we continue arguing.
I snatch it, nearly ripping the thing in half as a result.
And
roll a. That's a 9. I don't know why they didn't underline this die, but that is a 9, so that would be sufficient.
That's sufficient. Yeah, that's better than a 3. So you were able to, much to Mar's protest, rip the map out of her hand and kind of.
No, I'm Mar. Like that would have been ripping it out of
Sadiki's protest. I apologize. Much to Sadiki's protest, Mar rips the map out of Sadiki's hand and says, "No, it's this way." And
okay,
I've been staring at this map all afternoon.
So here's a fun bit of text. Each failed attempt puts the characters a couple of hours behind. So anyway, along the way, you guys pass the wreckage of a really large flyer. Some sort of flying machine that is long overgrown with jungle vines. It almost looks like the debris has been arranged into a kind of a giant nest. And
so it looks like this would have been
special
done by
abilities with traps and locks, doors, anything that'd be on that. So we could probably check it out, I would think.
Just as you say that, you hear the wailing call of a distant but rapidly approaching predatory dinosaur. If somebody wants to make a difficulty 4 roll to identify what that call is, you can do that now.
I also have dino senses. So would that give me some additional power on my roll or not?
Yep. So what that does is it's going to be a difficulty 4 roll, and you have dino senses, which will bring that. What is it? What does the text say there?
It says level 2 alters your senses to provide you with enhanced sight, smell, and hearing, particularly as it pertains to dinosaurs. For 1 hour, you have an asset on all tasks involving studying, understanding, and communicating with dinosaurs as well.
And I have.
Okay, so that's a cipher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have dinosaur pheromones, which is an asset on positive dinosaur interactions.
Okay.
So we're just trying to identify it then?
Right.
To see if it's good or bad.
Is it a
then,
herbivore or is it a carnivore?
Yeah.
Well, so
we see bones in that nest.
Yeah.
if you guys are trained in anything, then you can use that. If you want to pop your cipher, Halen and see if that will give you an asset, which will reduce it down to a difficulty 3 task to identify what the dinosaur is.
Meaning I have to roll 3.
No, it means you have to roll a 9.
A 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 60% chance.
Yeah, that's better than 50-50, isn't it?
It's-
Then we can hide in the nest.
If that's where they're coming home to, like, maybe I don't want to be home when.
What else can we do to improve our abilities here? I have hacking.
This is just to identify it.
I
we're
think I could.
identifying.
I think my pheromones may
help.
Well, that's
me
when
a-
they get here.
What's the difficulty on it?
It's a difficulty 4 task, difficulty 4 task.
Just to identify this based on its.
You heard a whale in the distance, and so
Is there any penalty for me to just like that's
Oh well,
that's 16. That's
that is a particular type of predatory pterosaur. So, a giant flying dinosaur that eats meat, rapidly approaching.
We don't want to be here.
I agree with that.
I don't care what you smell like. We don't want to be here right now.
No, I agree. I agree.
Is it coming to us from the volcano, or do we know what direction it's coming from?
From behind you, kind of off in the distance, in a direction that you have neither headed towards or coming from.
We should Vaminos rapido.
Well, I mean, is there? We get a? I guess is there anything here that we might want to find or
that's
get
true.
real quick?
Yeah, let's do a little check of the nest. Maybe we can get some stuff. Sounds like we have time to do that. A quick hit. Want to try?
Can I send?
Let's-
Can I send Toby in to look for stuff?
There we go.
Well, we can all just look for stuff. If we find it, then yay. If we don't, we run.
All right, let's want to check for traps before we go into this thing.
That's why I want to send Toby in, because 1, he's clumsy, and 2, it gives me an asset for surprises, traps, time terrors, or other sudden occurrences.
I'm also
So I can reduce
Person.
it by 1.
trap person.
So can I send? If Toby is willing, I'll send Toby in with you.
I gain an asset on all tasks, which is figuring out traps. So I can go in. How about Toby and Halen?
Great. Let's make that a.
You can ride Toby in.
I'll ride Toby on there.
That'll start out as a figuring out whether or not how dangerous. The way that I'm going to look at this is that you guys are trying to figure out how dangerous it is to even go into this nest that is made of an old ship's wreckage. And in order to do that, it's going to be probably a difficulty 2 task. If you've got Toby as an asset, right? And then you have...
I'm an asset.
So that'll be...
Free?
Yeah. So
Let's do it.
You don't see anything any more dangerous than the quickly approaching predatory dinosaur bird in the wreckage. There's nothing there that's
Still-
going to
it's
spring
still
off.
Time's running out.
Want to do a quick little recon then of the wreckage to see if there's anything useful, and then we'll get out of here.
So as you kind of look around, you notice that the wreckage contains mostly slag, but there's a clutch of unhatched eggs about the size of large watermelons. As you kind of
Omelets?
look around the large eggs, you see a couple of things that catch your eye. One is a still working headset laser gun.
Ooh.
Take
We
that.
need those. Are excellent.
And the other is a solar chainsaw.
Oh, but it's dark outside.
I can pop a cipher and it's daylight.
We need those. We need.
Yeah,
those.
we need these.
We need those things.
Okay.
Let's get it out. I can cover us.
I have a feeling we're going to get to use them very soon.
So you guys are gonna
I'll grab them and just
run and hide, or
let's grab them and get
Yeah.
out of here as far as
Sure.
we can.
eggs?
Nope.
What about them?
I think
Those are pretty.
Yes, yes. We want an egg.
What?
One each.
Is there?
Are they weaponized eggs?
They will be.
they
So I
shall
guess
soon be.
I'm guessing, not knowing too much about the universe, that eggs would probably be a pretty cool resource because they could then be trained to be a bit more domesticated.
It seems to make sense to me.
Maybe one egg.
Trading.
It's the size of a watermelon, and they're fragile. So I don't know. Like
Here.
I don't want to be like trundling through the jungle.
Gonna be able to hold that.
Oh God, Freya, don't eat those.
We forgot about
All right. Okay, get what you want. I'll make a satchel for.
We'll just kind of strap one to our backs and
I
make
have
a
a
run for
pack.
it.
I
I'll
can
make-
throw it in my pack.
Okay, well, I was thinking like you make saddlebags for Toby or something.
Yeah, Toby could saddle
yeah.
back.
Anyway,
Yeah,
like
Let's grab.
Put all the eggs in the clumsy armored dinosaur.
Right. Clang.
That'll be great.
Clang.
But he's strong.
Seems legit.
So,
He is strong.
for the record,
Let's get it.
you
Let's get
taking
it. Let's
all
get
the eggs, or
I'm not 100% down with this idea.
That's okay. We are.
How about
They're going to die anyway.
how about 2 eggs? One
What-
for us and one for trade.
My understanding is what's happening here, though, is that Halen and Toby went into the wreckage.
Yes.
So
Gibson.
We're already in there.
Yeah.
yeah, so Halen.
We can call in. Hey, coast is clear.
I'm going to be there where I can see them and talk to them, but also keep an eye on the sky as much as I
Yeah,
can.
I'm kind of standing at the mouth.
And sort of what I was getting at with that too is that while you guys are kind of chatting each other's comms and stuff, ultimately, Halen, it's up to you exactly what happens with the loot and the eggs and everything, because you're the
Okay.
one on the
We definitely
in the
need
ground.
the stuff.
First, I'm going to call out. Hey, you want there's some really good stuff in here. Got a gun, which looks pretty cool looking. Some other tech. It looks like
Hold on.
a
Is that one of those
chainsaw?
head guns? A chainsaw.
A chainsaw and a gun. And
Hold on.
eggs.
Get the chainsaw.
You want the chainsaw,
head
the gun,
gun.
or the eggs are all?
We need to put
Yes.
the head gun and the chainsaw on a T-Rex and ride it into town.
We can do that. What about the eggs?
That's
I-
trade good.
Trade good? Do we want 1 egg? Or it looks like there's about 6 in this clutch. Do we want them all, or do we want just one?
How big?
They're about the size of a watermelon.
One.
That's large.
One.
Just one?
Yeah, just one.
Yeah, I can grab all that and we can make a run for it. I can pick up that stuff and then we'll div it up when I
Speaking
get
of which-
outside.
Oh! You hear-
All right.
We'll just hope Mom can't count past like 4.
Okay, tell you what.
I hope you've enjoyed this extra life content. If you're interested in updates from Team WV Fox, follow us on Facebook. In addition to event updates and details, there are opportunities to win some excellent prizes, such as a copy of the 7th Sea 2nd Edition Core Rulebook published by John Wick Presents. If you would like to support Maximum Pew Pew and WV Fox, please visit tinyurl.com/maxpewpew to make a tax-deductible donation today. All donors supporting my donation efforts will be announced at the end of every Extra Life episode on Maximum Pew Pew. This week, I would like to thank the Bailey family, Scott, Jonathan, Jason, Trevor, William, Eric, Bailey, Dylan, the Lutz family, and our anonymous donors for their donation to Team WV Fox and Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Please look forward to the official Team WV Fox Marathon event, starting Saturday, May 4th, 2019 at the James Mark Building, located at 901 Courier Street, Charleston, West Virginia. Ambient music provided by Tabletop Audio, original 10-minute ambiances and music for games and stories. Find out more at tabletopaudio.com.